Hello everyone, good evening, welcome along to One Hub Racing here for Season 15's Precision Tier. We are 2 rounds away from the end of the season and it could well be Championship Day for Janel and Toro Rosso. It is round 9 here at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix, one of the best tracks in the world. I'm your commentator Owen White, with me is Austin. Surely it's Championship Day.
I mean, you would assume so. The permutations are quite clearly pointing in Janel's favour. If Carlsberry doesn't even end up on the podium, in fact, doesn't even end up in the top 2, Janel can just sit back and relax. He wouldn't even have to compete tonight. That's how big the gap is already in the championship. And even if Carlsberry wins, Janel only needs a 7th place with the fastest lap or a 6th place without. So everything's pointing in Janel's direction, and if we look at the Constructors' Championship, it's a little bit more difficult for Toro Rosso because they can only allow Renault to outscore them by 6 points. So if Renault gets a win, Toro Rosso gets a 2nd place, and the second drivers just don't finish at all for both teams, then we would go, mathematically at least, to next week and to the season finale in Brazil. Yeah,
I mean, it does look pretty done just about when it happens, really, but certainly for Janel, I think he'll be feeling quite comfortable today. I'm sure he'll be feeling strong, mind you. I mentioned his cheaters before. He did end up in this tier. He's been extremely quick. Maybe his quali night wasn't good. Maybe he isn't particularly strong right here. You have got to question that because, of course, this is a track we did quali night on. It'll be interesting to see how they all compare. They'll all be faster unless it rains or something, because obviously we're going from a practice session to a qualifying session because we had a 30-minute practice session for the quali night. And that was actually a question earlier on in the interviews. Everyone was saying, yes, I'll go faster, or no, I wasn't there. So it was a bit of a pointless question. But point is, yeah.
Listen. There's no question that will ever be as pointless as 30 years ago.
Well,
I don't think I have to say anything else.
I wonder if that was a question just to shut anyone up, saying, just to catch the sandbaggers out there. Luckily, no one fell for it, I guess, and said, no, I won't go faster. So, well done, everybody. And looks like we've also got slightly higher numbers as well than we had in previous weeks, so we're certainly going to get a good race. Something else in interviews as well that we saw. When Toro Rosso were asked questions earlier, obviously they're top of the constructors. They haven't been in a title fight since season 1, back when we were called, I can't say it, TS Hub. Can't say the first bit, that's why I had to change the name. Even though it doesn't make any sense that we had to change it, but we had to change it. It was all the way back in season 1. I don't even know when season 1 was, but we're in season 15 now, so just imagine. I was probably a toddler. Even not that far back. But
I was probably in my prime.
on a level though, I was probably in primary school. It's been that long. So yeah, I feel old somehow, and I'm only 18 years old. But anyway, yeah, this is...
What am I supposed to say, Owen? I'm 27.
I know, poor you.
My goodness.
Poor you. But
thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Point is that Toro Rosso is certainly massive opportunity today, and it's their last opportunity as well, because of course they're not going to be Toro Rosso anymore. They'll be AlphaTauri next time out when we end up on F1 2020. So this is it, last chance saloon for the Toro Rosso team.
I mean, if One Hub had been a little bit older, we would probably be talking about Minardi, but since Toro Rosso was has been in the sport for, I think it's definitely at least 10 years. It's like, when did Vettel win in Monza? 2008? 2007?
2008 Monza was the first win, and the first race was probably Bahrain 2006. They've been around a long time in real F1.
It's 14 seasons, yeah. I
mean, they ended off with their strongest season ever last season in F1, really, with the 2 podiums. It'd be quite fitting if on the game they also go out with a bang, which it certainly looks like they're going to do. So that's a nice story.
It's very likely, yeah.
It's a very nice story to have. Of course,
really
we'll jinx it now, but yeah.
I don't think there's a, and I'm going to jinx it further maybe, but I don't think there's a jinx strong enough to hold Janel back. I don't think that exists.
Let's hope so anyway. Interestingly, he's actually not the hot driver counter this week. It's Carlsberry, but I've got to mention, he got a 5-second penalty for the safety cars, and as did Cam, because there was all sorts going on in that safety car. But ignoring that little blip, Janel had, honestly, one of the best drives I've seen on this game. Pitting early on in the safety car, getting his 2 stops out of the way super early in Belgium, where you could go on medians for pretty much the whole race. And he won the thing, and even with the penalty, it was still more than enough. An incredible drive, so he's got great momentum anyway coming in.
Yeah, and you mentioned the mediums around Spa can go almost the whole race. We're going to face a similar situation here, where the mandatory 2-stop rule is really going to shake things up, because we have the mediums who, they can't go the full distance, but pretty much. I mean, we're talking around 20 laps, and the whole race is 26 laps long. So the mediums can go a very long time. Even the softs aren't that bad. The softs can go half the race if you were allowed to, regarding both the mandatory 2-stop rule not being there and the 2 different compound rule not being there. You could do a soft to soft 1 stop around here if you wanted to, and it would probably be the fastest strategy. So now with 2 stops, what are the drivers going to do? I mean, there is a chance that we're going to see drivers who go for 2 rather long soft stints and 1 very, very short medium stints. There is the chance we're going to get a safety car again, and hopefully a lot of drivers have learned from last week. And they go in early, do 2 pit stops under the safety car, and then just drive off into the distance on either hard or medium tyres. Most likely mediums, actually.
Well, yeah, because depending actually on when you'd get a safety car, it could actually really shake the field up, because in theory, let's be imaginative for a minute, you could start outside the top 10 on mediums, you get a safety car on lap 1, and you pit for the sauce, and say the guys on the sauce at the front, most of them don't do that. It really could be a great chance if someone's got their brain switched on tonight to make a strategy work, because it's so flexible. Pretty much anything works if you get it right.
Yeah, and that's really the interesting part here. A safety car early on in the race would effectively turn this into a 1-stop race, because you have to remember one thing about Silverstone. Oh, my bad. One thing about Silverstone, it is the longest pit lane on the calendar. And not just our 10 race calendar, my bad. Not just our 10 race calendar, the whole F1 calendar. There is no pit lane that is longer than this one. And I don't understand why, but the speed limit in the pit lane is also 60 kilometers an hour, 37 miles an hour, instead of the usual, for most tracks, 50 miles or 80 kilometers. So the pit lane is slower, it's longer. You lose around 30 seconds around here. Most of the tracks we're talking about 20.
Well, I think the reason why the pit lane limit is so slow, you can see it on the map, Pearson talking, you can see where the white line when you go into the pits is. It cuts the last 3 corners off, and that's why it has to be so slow, so you don't gain a big enough advantage from there. It does make it silly.
You lose so much. I mean, at the same time, why is the pit limit in Canada, where you cut out the final chicane, 80?
Well, yeah, and you cut the first few quarters there as well, don't you say? I guess that's a good
and
point.
The first few quarters, yeah. So, I mean, why is the pit lane limit in Spa, where we were last week, 80 kilometers an hour, where you cut out the first quarter?
Yeah,
so, we can ask these questions all the time. Again, this is a very long pit lane. You don't want to be in there for all too long. If you are in there, make sure it's under either VSC or a full safety car when everyone else out on track is slow as well. Otherwise, you're going to lose heaps of time, and you're not going to enjoy this race, because you're going to be all the way down there in P15, P16, P17.
So I'm fully expecting this qualifying session, some are going to try and get, if they can, 4 runs in. It would be very tight, but you can just about do it if you cut a few corners on the way back. And this could be a very high action qualifying session. We've already got Kovalainen out there very early on. This is cloudy again, but changing it up.
Yeah. Just if you see a name you haven't seen before, apart from Compassion, he's actually new. But apart from him, if you see a name that you think, hold on, who's that? It's Cloudy.
No, I've got to say, Jory's the coal driver coming in, and he's missed a few races now, hasn't he? But he's finally back, and I really want to see him do well. I need to see somebody at Racing Point have a good result tonight. It's been such a miserable season. They've got only 11 points. Surely it'll come eventually for them.
I mean, you would hope, but there's no guarantees in F1. There's no such thing. You will always have to fight for good results, especially with 19 drivers. I have to say, considering it's the end of the game cycle, towards the end of the season, penultimate race, it's summer. We are finally allowed again to go back out. The lockdown is nearing its end, and restrictions are lifted. To see 19 drivers show up, I have to say kudos to all the drivers for showing up, being committed. That's what it's about. Maybe, just maybe, part of it is the season entry fee that was introduced this season. Maybe that made the drivers put their money literally where their mouth was.
Yeah, could be, yeah. Of course, there's some places where lockdown's a little bit less strict, but there's others where you have to still stay inside quite a lot. Yeah, it's annoying, but yeah, it's good to see we've got more drivers in the last few weeks anyway. And maybe they just love this track so much. That could be it as well. Or maybe they've really got nothing to do.
I'm one of the few people, and I know there's going to be someone in chat right now. I mean, like, how dare you, Austin? I never liked this track. I never liked Silverstone. I would be very happy.
Oh dear.
See, I'm not getting it from chat. I'm getting it from you right now. But I would be very happy if F1 announces, you know what, Silverstone, we're not getting a contract done with them. We're going to Donington.
Stop talking. You can't say this about Silverstone, man. Did you not watch the race last year? It was a classic. You can fight so much around here. It's one of the best tracks on the calendar, honestly. You never get bad races here.
I just don't like it. I can tell you why. To me, the track pretty much feels like an oval. You have a little bit of an infield, turn 3 and 4, and maybe turn 7, but the rest, it just feels like an oval. It's just so fast. You have no slow corners, really. You have no heavy braking zones. Even Stowe is incredibly fast, and that's considered one of the prime overtaking opportunities, mostly because of DRS. I just don't like the track personally, but I know that's just me. Maybe there's a few others out there, but I know most people, so this, yada, yada, yada. I get it.
You see, for me, it's a track that you can pretty much go side by side the whole way round. Basically, when you start at the loop, you go all the way around. It's going left, right, so you can just keep it side by side. Leclerc and Verstappen proved that pretty well last year, and Stowe is such a good corner. I love it so much. We have to convert you.
I should... sorry, what?
We have to convert you.
I don't think that's possible at this point. But I maybe I need to clarify. I do like watching the races here. I just don't like driving it. Whenever it gets to career mode on the F1 games, whenever it goes to Silverstone, I'm just like, can I skip this? Is there a way of just move on to the next race or something? But I do it obviously for the immersion and everything. I really don't enjoy doing the race here around Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. I just don't gel well with it.
Well, I can say the only aspect I don't personally like about this track, and something that all the drivers as well are probably not going to like either, is the fact that ARS drains faster here than it does anywhere else on the calendar. I think even Italy is better with ARS than this place, because again, as you say, you barely slow down, and that means even if you're running in medium the whole time, it's going to run it in 2 or 3 laps. You'll have to go so slowly, and that could be crucial today.
Yeah, in Italy at least you have turn 1, an absolutely massive, not just a massive braking zone. Then you have the second chicane, another massive braking zone. Both times you slow down from like over 300 kilometers to under 120. In case of the first chicane, under 100. Plus, then you get Parabolica as well, where you got decent braking. You got Ascari, you got the Lesmos, where there's a little bit at least. Around here, most of the corners, or a lot of the corners, you don't brake, you only lift, and that's what does allow you to regain ERS. Just look at turn 1, you lift, you don't, if you lift at all. Turn 2, you don't lift at all, you go flat out through there. Turn 5 is a flat corner. Turn 6, okay, fair enough. Turn 7, you really just, you let the car roll because you already braked for turn 6. Then Cops, lift at best. Maggots Beckett's Chapel, you lift at best. Stowe is a braking zone, and then Vale is a braking zone. That's about it. So there's really not that much around here where you can regain ERS. So once you're depleted, and that's going to be interesting to see, especially at the start of the race, who's going to try to pull a gap in the first 3-4 laps and completely uses up his ERS trying to pull that gap. And if they fail, well, they're in trouble. So that's going to be interesting to watch. We are going to have an eye on the battery charge throughout the race, obviously.
You see, what that also does, actually, and it's a nightmare for a driver, but actually, I know I've always been someone who hates the ERS in this game because you always have to say it, but if every single person hasn't got any, and as a driver I find this as well, especially here, suddenly racing becomes a whole lot more fun. I had a race a while back, and it was a 4-way train, the whole race for the lead, and he was always switching around and having good fights. Oh, I just love this place. I can't believe you don't like it. Oh my god. Anyway, we should probably point out, by the way, as Maurice goes P2, Compassion has arrived with a bang. He's P1 on a 26.5 in his McLaren. That's a good start.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure McLaren's going to be happy with that. He is replacing TB. Remember, TB had a total of 3 points throughout his races so far this season. And, yeah, Compassion already further up the ranks than TB has been, so that changed for McLaren. I think they're really, really happy with this. Question is whether they can retain Compassion for next season, because we only have 2 races left here. This week, tonight, here at Silverstone, and then next week at Brazil. And then that's the season over. We're going over to F1 2020. If Compassion has that same pace, I'm pretty sure McLaren will want to keep him.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I'm certainly going to keep my eye on him. He's, like I say, he's made a good first impression already into the mid-26s. I've got to say, 2 more people as well I want to be keeping an eye on are the 2 people who were flanking White Fountain. One, obviously, again, last season. Is that a surprise to anyone? Chris, again, we keep saying it. Will it happen eventually? Maybe. He finished 2nd last season here, and 3rd was our boy Cam. So, that's American Cam, for those who didn't watch last season. Cam came on. That's one of his famous podiums that we celebrated wildly. So I've got to keep an eye on those 2 again, because they're 2 drivers I just want to see do well. It has to be someday, surely.
Yeah, you would think, but I mean, for Chris, it should be a track that suits him. I mean, he has the 2nd best time of all the drivers I could find, which were 15 out of the 20 that we have here. Out of all those 15 drivers, he had the 2nd best time on the leaderboard, and only 2 milliseconds behind Bretster, who had the number 1 time.
Yeah, so good signs anyway. But then again, it's Ferrari, and they always mess it up at some point, don't they, unfortunately? But
I mean, at a race where the strategy is going to be incredibly important, and especially on the fly, you have to make decisions on the fly, really, around here. Because that can, as we saw last week in a similar situation, that can get you the win, as we saw with Janul, or it could keep you way down the order. So, Ferrari, they are a little bit challenged in that regard. We know that from the real world, where, making strategy calls on the fly doesn't always yield the best results for them. Maybe this time around, they can turn it around and finally get a call right and find themselves at least on the podium. I think that's going to be the hope for them.
Well, Chris is currently P4, has just set that time, just over a tenth and a half off the pace. Not points, not 8, 9, separating the top 3 at the moment, and 5 different teams in the top 5, which is all a good sign, certainly. And it has to be said, actually, just over a quarter of a second separating the top 8. It's always been one of the the tightest tracks on the calendar due to it being, again, where do you lose time, really? Because you're flat out for most of it. And it really is just to find details which gets you up to the top. And watching Carlsberg, I haven't actually had any laps fully on board. Got it a bit wrong at the start of the lap, but we'll stick with him, even though he's just invalidated. We're not going to stick with that anymore. Let's find someone else.
That's how quickly that can go around here. Let's see, who else do we have?
Iceman's
Kelvin
out there.
is invalid. Gretz is on an outlap. Who did you say, sorry?
Iceman's out there.
Iceman, yeah. Yeah,
Cool.
He's coming towards the line. He's entering Vale and then the club section.
Oh, Maurice, that's...
having a car is inside there. That's unfortunate, but I don't think it hurt him too much.
Yeah, it was on the edge, that. It was alright.
Yeah. And he goes P11. That is 6/10 down on the provisional pole. Sitter in compassionate 27.1. It's an okay time. Could
Look
be
at this,
better.
Austin. Look at this. We've got Maurice.
Huh.
I think he didn't quite realise what he was doing there when he was letting Iceman through, and he's just had to cut the whole of the last few corners to get round another lap, and that might have cost him a run potentially. I mean, he'll still be okay, but it just cost him a bit of precious time. That I don't think he wanted to continue for this lap.
Yeah, could very well be that he just wanted to pull into the pit lane and saw the guy behind and was like, I can't pull over here. There's a guy to my right. That is sometimes the tricky situation with the pit lane here, and the way the pit lane is located, the pit lane entry is located rather, and the ideal line, the racing line on track, where you come out of Stowe on the left side, then you want to enter Vale on the right side. If you're a slow car and you want to go into the pit lane, you're going to have to make your intentions known early and pull to the right almost immediately. Otherwise, that happens, and you're effectively stuck out there for another lap.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm currently watching, by the way, VAR Compassion. We haven't actually watched him on board yet, and, well, he is currently top, so let's see if he can hold that. So far, it's been pretty hooked up on this lap, has to be said. Although he's just...
Yeah. Owen, stop jinxing people.
I do this on Britain all the time, I think. I keep getting deja vu. I swear I did this as Britain at some point. I hate this track. No, I agree with you. I just can't. I can't get a good quality lap. It's one of my favourite quality laps, and no one wants to give us a good lap. Go on, Cam. Give us one.
Yeah, what about British Cam?
Yes, British Cam. You've got this. You haven't got a single time on the board. Let's make this one a good one then, because you only got 3.5 minutes. This will probably be his last attempt.
As both Kelvin and Bretster went into the pits, for Bretster after invalidating his lap, and I think Kelvin invalidated his previous lap. Bretster just aborted the lap that he invalidated and went straight back into the pits. So at least that's a lap saved for him, if you will. But they both only have 3 minutes left, and you got to get out there at some point. You have to leave the pits effectively at around 1 minute and 50. If you're very early on in the pit lane, if you're, sitting towards the back.
Remember how slow the pit lane is? You might get called out by that if you could go with that sort of time. We mentioned it earlier, because it takes forever.
I mean, at least a minute. Yeah, you have to press the button at around 2 minutes. I'm just saying, you have to leave your pit box at around 1 minute and 50. Obviously, between pressing the button and the car actually starting to roll and move, there's still some time left. We have a lot of drivers in the pit lane right now. They're playing it dangerously as Cam moves up to P10.
Yeah,
inside half a second of the provisional pole time right now. It's, in fact, inside 4/10, but still only P10. That is wild. That is really close. But again, it's what this track really is. And I think... Is Cam going to try another time? He's taking it slow right now, but maybe he stays out. If he retires, we know he's not going to try another one. He is low on fuel, so I would assume that he retires rather shortly. Everyone's on outlaps now. Cam is...
Carlsberg spun off. That's going to be in the wall. He was up by nearly a 10.5 in the first sector alone, and that would have surely been putting him in a great position, but he's in the wall. The hot driver backwards. Putting it in the wall in qualifying.
Don't drive backwards. That sometimes leaves you at risk of being disqualified, as Cam British Cam that is, does retire, so he does not have any intention of running another time. And Carlsberg, yeah, I mean, for him, it's over as well. P8 is the best he's going to be able to do.
That could be his
with
championship
that
right there.
Damage.
That could confirm the championship right there.
It could very well. Remember, he has to be at least second at the end of the race to have a chance. And that includes, if he finishes second, he has to get the fastest lap as well. And he needs a DNF or no points for Jano. And even then, he would only remain in it by 1 point. So, effectively, Carlsberg needs a win, if we're brutally honest. Carlsberg needs a win and hope that Jano does bad. But Jano doesn't seem to do bad. Third place right now, which is 5 ahead of Carlsberg. And he's starting another lap. So he's still out there with no damage at all and looking to improve.
Right, then Cav is taking this very slowly. I think he'll get to the line in time, but this is going to be a very, very hectic last few moments of qualifying. He will get to the line okay there, but he'll be the last one across it. The first one across is currently purple in the middle sector. It's Chris. You're going to have to find 300s in the last sector. Can this finally be his day? Checkered flag is out. He's going to derail a little bit, but he did that on the last lap as well, so he should still be okay when he gets to the line. He should still find some time. And we obviously have to track at its best. Can Chris go to the top? Yes, he can. Good stuff from him there. We've also got Kelvin. He should be next up to the line. We should expect a lot of improvement here. But can Chris hold on? Regardless, we haven't seen him P1 at all this season, so it's already better than most of his races. Kelvin's not going to go anywhere near there. He's only going to go
Khalifa's next.
P16. Yep, here comes
Khalifa. Comes across the line. No improvement there. In fact, the 10th down.
Dane Star's very much derating there. That's not going to be a good lap at all. No. And here comes Compassionate to the pit lane, actually. And Scorpion only going P13. There's Iceman.
Iceman up to 11.
And here comes Jorate, 15th. Kovalainen, 17.
Oh my god. Bretzer has invalidated. He will start from the back. Oh my goodness. That is just unfortunate. Improving. Every single lap.
Oh.
Just invalid. Lukey?
Well, Lukey's okay, but I see that not Mello, Konzo's on for a very nice time as well. This could well be Paul. Yeah. Oh, it's P3.
Oh, P3.
And Cam said he'd be last.
Cam, yeah.
He's only going to go up to P15 with us, isn't he? Yeah.
Yep.
Still, 6/10 off Paul. You wouldn't think that's worthy of P15, but that's how close it is. So, I don't want to say we've jinxed him. We might have jinxed him in the right way. Chris is on pole. And that makes me very happy indeed.
His 7th pole in 1UP history. And what's even more important, I think, is his first one this season. I think that's what he's looking at and thinking, my goodness, finally. Because it was a long time coming. And him on pole. Right next to him, Compassion, the newbie. The rookie. And Konzo in 3rd. For Konzo, this is still, to a certain extent, it's not really about...
No, that's not.
He could get 3rd in the championship. Remember, we have 2 races left. If Dainstar doesn't perform, and right now he's in P10, Konzo might have a chance of grabbing 3rd place in the championship. 25 points the difference there right now. Good result here, bad result for Dainstar, and then we're going to Brazil. Everything's open.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is good for him now. There's a lot of disappointing results out there. Just because it was so close, though. It's not like they performed particularly badly. It's just these fine margins. You know, it's a blink of an eye between 1st and 15th. You know what I mean? It's ridiculously close out there. And it's good to see it that way. And we have a different man on pole, different man on 2nd place. So you've got Janel, the championship favourite, down there in 5th. Carlsberg didn't lose anything actually there in 8th place, even though we had that incident, but already in a pretty miserable position.
Yeah, that's really going to be tough for him to pull that back in and somehow turn this around and at least bring the championship to Brazil. It's going to be really difficult for him to keep his chances open for a wheel stand that the champion will get from our sponsor, Next Level Racing. That is what the drivers are competing here for. Next Level Racing has pretty much everything you would want as a sim racer. Wheel stands, chairs, you know. If you want to check them out, and I very much advise you to do so, go to nextlevelracing.com.
And you can also find them on Twitter at NextLVL Racing. Do give them a follow, they do great stuff as we know. There's a car off. Ivan's binned it. He's binned it seconds. He's done an ODEMS. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, that's not a good start to his day, is it? That'll be... Well, he's not going to fall anywhere down, but he might just have a bit of dodgy tyres. Right, we never actually went through the grid order. Yeah. Shall we do that on tyres? So, Chris on pole, from Compassion, Konzo, Ivan, Janel, Maurice, Meloy, Carlsbait, Lukey, Deanstar, all on the softs. Then British Cam on mediums, Iceman on softs, Khalifa on mediums, Scorpion on softs, then Cam, Jorate, Kovalainen and Kelvin on the mediums, with Brent at the very back on the softs. Let's see what we've got then. This is a very good racing prospect already.
Yeah, I'm still trying to fill in the my spreadsheet here with all the positions. Give me just a second. There we go. We got this done, thankfully. Got to keep the information up to date, you know. It's easy for me that way to remember who started where than to just constantly switch to the position change detail on the game. But yeah, we have interesting that many medium runners down the order. It's quite surprising because I would have gone onto the softs here. I'm going to tell you exactly why. Even in P19 as Bretzer is, just as he did, because that way you can stay in DRS trains and just stay with the other drivers, even though you have the worst tires, and then it leaves you open to then use the better tire later on, use the softs twice, and you know you're competitive in the end. Whereas other drivers are then going to have to use the mediums later on. Puts you at an advantage right there. But apparently some drivers think otherwise, go for the medium instead. That would be my thing. Maybe they're thinking, you know what, I just want to stay out of trouble. I'm going to use these mediums for like 5 pits, soft. I just don't want to have anything to do with all these other drivers. Well, could be the case as well.
We'll see what he decides to do. Safety cars will play a big part in this one. I think Ivan might end up being the last one on the grid, by the way. He has recovered. Yeah. He will take that grid position, even though he's spun instantly. Let's just hope he doesn't do that again. But this is it. This is the potential title decider. It's almost certainly, but we can't say that just in case it goes terribly wrong.
Don't jinx Jadwal.
Well, we'll try not to, but here we go. It's Ferrari from McLaren from Williams. It's like we're back in the 90s. It's Chris on the right, Compassion on the left, and we are away for the British Grand Prix. And I wouldn't advise side by side, but the top two are going to try it. And Chris is going to lose out, surely. He'll have to back off there. And Compassion takes the lead. For once, you don't see too many accidents in turn one. You often see pile-ups there. But we've got Janel now, trying to get himself to P4. He's got Ivan on his outside. He should hold that there, although he might get held up a bit by Konzo. That could open up the door, but he does keep that position in P4. But it is Compassion into the lead of this race, and look how competitive that is at the back. They're all trying to go side by side.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a touch there, I think, between Ivan and either, I don't know if it was Janel or Konzo, but it was certainly one of them. And Ivan, I think it was Janel, in fact, and I thought for a second, that's why you maybe heard me just loudly exhaling, really. I thought Ivan was going to turn Janel around. We have a safety car. It's Cloudy who's out.
Yeah, well, that has
exit of Luffield?
That's got all the telltale signs of him still being on no assist and having one of his trademark spins. Now, what are we going to see on the pit stops? We mentioned this earlier on, that you could theoretically pit on lap 1 and do 2 sets of softs to the end, or you could theoretically do 2 pit stops and be mediums all the way to the end.
Yeah, I think maybe we're going to see Janel again pull that off. The question is whether he's going to be the only one to do that again, or whether finally someone joins him in that. Compassion pitting comes in. Yep. Well, they're all going to come in. Chris, yep.
This is going to shake the order because there's going to be a lot of holding up going on here. And Meloy, he knows that he's having to back off a bit.
Top 9.
Oh, Daystar's made the overtake. That is That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yeah,
British
Cam stays out. Obviously, he's on the mediums. He decides, you know what, I'll stay out. Draw it as well.
Oh, I'm
not so sure. Yeah, I don't think that is the right call either. I think I would have gone in even on the mediums. You see, a lot of drivers on the mediums, Khalifa, Calvin, Cam, all three went in on the mediums there and switch to probably softs, I would assume. I mean, they didn't even make it to their pit stalls yet, and there is, Khalifa waiting. Cam
enters on for Kelvin. I saw that the Toro Rosso pit crew had enters out there. I thought it was a glitch, but no, Kelvin's got it wrong. That's a disaster. That's his race. Well,
there aren't even clouds.
I mean, he can just pit again, I guess, and put the mediums on, as long as he keeps it on the road.
Oh, is that maybe him trying to go, here, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show all of you.
That's a mistake. That's
one
a
lap
complete
on
mistake,
the inters. I mean, he's going to have the 2 pit stops out of the way. So it would work.
It just, in case he can't catch back up to the pack, what if the safety car goes in at the end of lap 3? He might be a world away, and it'll hurt Khalifa as well, because he's stuck, and look at the time lost already. I'm just going to say that Danestar had must have been the smallest little tap with Melody. That's what I was so annoyed about when he pitted, because he passed him on the way into the pitch, which is legal. You can do that under safety car, but there was like the smallest little tap, and it's because Mello is going so slowly, and it's a 5-second penalty for Danestar. Really unlucky that from what I saw, that was the tiniest little taps.
Now let me quickly check something. So Calvin started on the mediums, went on to intermediates.
Yeah,
maybe
that was a mistake.
Maybe he used all 4 sets of the softs in qualifying and was like, I'm not going to use the used softs.
Now I'll tell you what he's went to do. He's went to pick the hards, and he put the wrong tire on. Because I reckon what he might have been wanting to do is go medium, something random, and then hards. Now we've got Chris in the pits again, we've got Janel in the pits again, and we've got Carlsbury and Lukey. I imagine Kelvin,
all the ones who went on to the softs again.
Yeah.
Now go on to the medium. It's fantastic. That's how it should work.
I imagine Kelvin would have wanted to do that as well. Kelvin's got to be aware that he has to run another dry tyre. It can't be mediums to the end. He can't do that. I know.
Can you not?
It's not raining, so
you have to.
It's not a change in climatic conditions, and so that's where you can do 2 different tyres. I'd be very surprised if the game lets him do that.
Oh yeah. No, you're right, because he started on the mediums, so you can't use mediums. Yeah, I would think he's going to go for the hards here, just as Danestar's going for the hards.
No hards. It is hards.
No hards. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So now he can go to the end.
Yeah, okay, that's
I
fine.
I thought for a second that Kelvin started on the on the softs, and therefore, you would try to say that he can't go to the end on the mediums because the pit stop onto the inters doesn't count as a pit stop under the mandatory 2-stop rule. That's what I thought for a second. Obviously, that's wrong.
Obviously, it's wrong. It just doesn't count.
He started on the mediums,
and he needs
a second. He needs a second dry tire compound other than the mediums to go to the end, and he just did. The hards.
Yes, as did Danestar. He went on to the hards as well. Interestingly, Cam might have missed a trick here. He hasn't pitted again, and he's going to be the only one restarting on the softs. Unless he pits again, but I imagine the safety car might well go in. Depends if Kelvin and Khalifa are too far behind. Maybe all this waiting they did because he was on inters might have held this restart back by a lap. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, we're going to see whether the safety car comes in very, very shortly. In fact, out of Chapel right here. We should get the message if it does come in.
Yeah, we'll wait and see.
We do not.
Sometimes comes in Stowe. They do tend to wait late sometimes, but
yeah,
I'll be very
sometimes
surprised.
It comes later. That's right. But usually here in the 3rd sector is when it comes. But no, it stays out.
I think it's staying out. Yeah, because they haven't caught up yet. They actually have now, but it was too late for the call.
Yeah, it's too late. Yeah.
So we'll calm and see what everyone else has done, and maybe just take that pit stop. He'll fall to the back, but that'll be his pit stop's done. Yes, he'll pit.
He comes in, yes.
No!
Oh, no!
Cam!
He dummied himself. What
are you doing? He
dummied himself. No one else was going to come in. I mean...
what are you doing, Cam?
What was he thinking? No one else was going to come in. They all made their pit stops already. No one is on the softs apart from him. So... I really don't understand this one. Maybe he was trying to dummy us?
Every single driver behind him has done 2 stops. He'll lose out to all of them. Chris He could have well put himself in the top 7 there, or top 7. I can't count. Well, I can count. And then all the guys ahead have done one stuff, so they'll all have to pit again. Cam, you've damaged yourself,
The only drivers he currently has a leg up on are his teammate, British Cam, and King Jordan, who didn't pit at all.
He's dummied himself, I can't believe it. Come on, Cam.
Yeah.
That's a big chance he's lost there.
Yeah, really. Like, if he went in right now, he would lose or last lap, obviously. He would lose 6 positions on track, but he would be on the same strategy as the 6 guys now behind him and would have a leg up on everyone apart from those 6. So he would maybe be on for 7th place, plus potential overtaking of the 2 hard runners, Dane and Kelvin. That could be a top 5 result. And now, most likely, he's going to battle for what seems like maybe P15 with his teammate Cam and with King Joy.
Well, certainly that's something that he's going to regret. I'm telling you, I'm going to make him regret it later on anyway. I shall tell him off, because that is so frustrating. You see, this is why he's banned from the commentary box. Last season we used to have him with us as our in-race reporter. We would have been screaming at him, I think, why aren't you pitting? He probably would have pitted then. That's probably why he's banned. Back when we used to do that. But anyway, we've got our restart.
That's a Ferrari strategy right there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Ferrari strategies, Chris is the one that seems to have the upper hand right now. He might well be down in 13th, and Cam's the one restarting here, but it's certainly not really his race to win right now. As we get going once again, green flags are out. Hopefully we all stay clean. Compassion is already all over the back of Jorik. Needs to find his moment to get by. He might well try into turn 3. We'll see if he's close enough, but he certainly needs to be getting up into clean air straight away if he wants any chance at making this work against Chris. He's already looking on the outside, trying to swap back in. He's got no pressure from behind, luckily, but he's got to make this quick.
Yeah, I think he's trying. He's on overtake on the ERS. I think he might be sending it here on the exit, on the end of the Wellington Straight. And he does. Yep, gets the move done. Into Brooklands before left field. Well done, Compassion into 2nd place. Now he only has one more driver in front of him, and that is British Cam. And I would assume that one maybe into Stowe already. Even though the difference between the tyres isn't that much. We're talking, 3-lap old mediums, or really no-lap old mediums, because it was all behind the safety car, versus 1-lap old mediums. So it's really not much of a difference between all these medium runners. They're all on similar pace, so this really has to happen on pace alone. Now, Cam slows down to let him by, and there goes Konzo around the outside of Jorit and into Stowe, and he gets it as well. Fantastic overtake there. Round the outside goes Konzo. Jorit trying to fight back into Vale, but to no avail, and Konzo up into P3.
Should be pointed out that people have been warned about extending the exit of Stowe. It is caught and it can be reported, and he was a bit off on the exit there, Konzo. I don't think he'll get in any trouble for that one. It's more sort of for qualifying, but you could, I guess, put it in for the race as well.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably only be counted as an additional warning, so if Konzo ends up on X amount of penalties, X being anywhere from 0 to however many you're allowed to get, and 2 additional warnings, he would get another 3-second penalty for that. But I don't think the stewards are going to be that nitpicky in that regard. I think that was just a great overtake, obviously. You can run a little bit wide there. We've seen it in real F1 where drivers overtake there, go a little bit wide. We've seen Verstappen do it. And he ran wide, completely all 4 wheels off the track, and it didn't really matter too much as British Cam, completely leaves the track on the exit of Corps. Don't know what was going on there. Maybe he caught a bit of dirty air that he really wasn't prepared for.
Could be, or maybe he's just pushing a bit. I think he's desperate to try and stay ahead of Konzo for at least a little bit longer. I was saying that he did let Compassion through, so maybe it was just a mistake. Meloy got by his teammate earlier on, now trying to get round the outside of Jory. And that is very close. Bit of a slide,
they
though.
leave each other space all the time. You have to leave the space, and King Dirt respects that call. From a lot of they're still
Chris
side
is
by side.
out.
We have a yellow.
Chris is out of the race.
No.
He's binned it, and I've jinxed him. I guess I'm gonna call that a jinx. The safety car's out again.
Yeah,
Oh.
exit of Stowe.
I'm so sad. I can't believe it.
Unfortunate.
No.
The pole sitter. We talked about him. How much of a chance this was for him.
And do you know what that's done as well? It's made all of these one-stoppers in a very much a better position. Maybe not the best position as Mello. He's certainly not in a very good position at all, getting a drive-through penalty. But it means that Compassion could probably pit and come out ahead of Janel now. And I'm sure he will do so if he has enough mediums left. I don't know if he's only got one set, though. Some of them might only have the one. They might not fancy the hards. I don't think you can take softs from here to the end. I think that's a bit over-ambitious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's overly ambitious, but at the same time, I don't think that Compassion can come out ahead of Janel.
It was Janel that did it, apparently. Janel's gone straight in and apologised to Chris. Now, I don't think any penalty, apart from a points deduction, which I don't think you can do, would cost him the title today, because Carlsbury's nowhere, but it would be a bit of a sour title to win after just taking out the guy that was going to win the race. Guy that might just have put you in the lead of the race as well. That move, depending on how much time these guys lose in the pit stops. This could again go to the post-race, and he's been in the stewards for the last 2 races. He was asked about it earlier. He was asked if he felt any extra pressure about it. He said no. But it's happened again.
Yeah.
Compassion pitting.
Unfortunately, we don't have a replay option that shows us what happened. Codemasters, please take notes.
Konzo stays out, as does Mello. He's got that drive free. I don't know why these guys shouldn't be staying out unless they simply haven't got enough medium compounds left, which is a possibility.
Could be the case.
They might only have one. They could have picked the softer option, I think, and that might only give you one.
Yeah, you're right. The softer option only gives you one set of the mediums for the race. You're right. Gives you 4 sets of the softs for qualifying, and then a set of mediums, a set of hards for the race. So you're stuck with 1 and 1.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Actually, if Janel is fully taking responsibility for this incident, he is in the net lead right now when all these guys pit, and that would actually mean that Carlsbury looks to be on for victory as it stands. A long way to go. Depending on any penalty, this actually could end up not being Toro Rosso's or Janel's day.
Yeah, could very well be. I mean, again, we talked about this before. Renault only needs to outscore Toro Rosso by 7 points to stay in the championship.
Yeah, absolutely right. And well, if Carlsbury's going to win the race, then that'll do that by default. I'd like to see if Chris is in the chat really, and if he is, can he tell us what happened? It'd be useful to know. But yeah, because this is what the title today could well be hanging on. Safety car probably won't be going in this lap, by the way. It'll probably be another lap because there's a few more to catch up. Cam now last, and that sort of tells you exactly how badly that all went for him. If he just had pitted on that first safety car, he would have been probably in P10 right now, or P11, ahead of Compassion. And that's just a world of difference. A safety car is in this lap. Okay, they did catch up. So we will be going green straight away. That's that is a bit of a nightmare for Konzo, I guess. He's now going to really have to make this work. He's slowed down. What's happening now? Mello, he doesn't want to get another penalty.
Overtaking him accidentally. I don't think he meant to. It's just that he was surprised that Konzo slowed down that much. So no harm, no foul, I would say. When's Konzo going to restart? Now! Ooh, I don't know if that was the right spot to do it. But then again, is there a right spot to do it around here, really? As Konzo now restarts the race. Remember, no overtaking before the finish line for any of the drivers, even if there is the green flag out. And Compassion already putting pressure on PSC Kelvin there, and Kelvin yielding not just to him but to Cam as well. There goes Jorid. Oh, Jorid trying to hold it around the outside. And there goes Ivan as well. Kelvin dropping way down the order. Maurice would be next. And Calvin, finally caught himself again. It seems, although he seems kind of slow, he doesn't seem to take the racing line really. At least through turn 5 he didn't. And yeah, Chris is in the chat.
Yeah,
meanwhile, there goes Maurice with a dive bomb and a half. from Howden. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but woof, he went a little bit deep into that corner. Kelvin has to yield that position really to avoid an accident, and Lukey trying into cops is not there. We're going to get to Chris's statement in the chat in a second there, but obviously hectic safety car restart here right now.
Yeah, Janel's now on the back of Iceman, and he's just got it wrong actually there. Yellow flags for Jory, but will there be a safety car or virtual before Carlsby can get by? This could decide the title today, although we're about to get to it. It probably isn't going to end too well for Janel, regardless. He's in Narnia. They are both in Narnia, yeah, and Carlsby right down the inside.
He sends it into Vale.
He's not going to get that done. Oh, he's hit him.
He's giving him a little push. The front wing is good. Thankfully, I got the front wing camera for once, and it showed that the front wing is perfectly fine. So that was very quick to be able to look at there. But so
let's just listen to this. Chris saying, "Can't wait till next season where there's 4 tiers," as we see Jorik retire finally in the pit lane. "Can't wait till next season where there's 4 tiers and these arrogant, aggressive drivers in another tier. And the 4 most important words: Janel took me out." This is not good. Janel, who said again, I'll get the quote up for you. He was saying earlier on about his pressure, no nerves at all, lol. Why would I have nerves? Just some bad moves from me and things like that. Nothing too bad though. I think you'll find this is a bit worse. Yeah,
it's been a bit of a development. Let's hope he doesn't make it a trend.
Well, 3 in a row, it already is a trend.
Yeah, I meant to say that the other way around, I think. It is a trend. Let's hope he doesn't make it a full-on development, that he remains in that sort of, let's say, headspace where, he just is, as Chris put it, aggressive. Maybe overly aggressive.
Can I just say here, by the way, Scorpion lost
he
position.
Sends it to the inside of Iceman there. Makes the corner perfectly fine, though, and Iceman does give him the space on the inside there. But really, there goes Carlsberry through, and they touched. Ooh, and Carlsberry does make it through. Well held by Carlsberry there, I have to say.
That was sideways. That was sure that was going to be spinning off. Just going to point out, as Khalifa retires, we've got a 3rd safety car of the race. He's binned it on the main straight, look there.
Yep.
That's Williams 1-2, by the way, right now, because we've just seen Melloy take his drive-through penalty. That's probably the best time he could have taken it, frankly. I don't think he'll mind that one bit, because he's got a safety car to help him out there. And Williams 1-2 because Brett got by Scorpion. Can Konzo salvage this now a bit with a pit stop now? It's not going to end well for him. Still, we've got how many still make our second stop? We've got Konzo, Brett, Scorpion, Iceman, Cam, and Meloy, and the Williams have to double stack. It's just they're 1-2 now, but they'll fall right down.
I think that might be the saving grace for Konzo here.
Oh,
they have to double stack, but the guy. But the guy in second place, the guy right behind him, is his teammate, and his teammate should, at least in theory, leave a gap to him so he doesn't lose time on the double stack. And what could very well happen is that Brett leaves that much of a gap. Right now, he really doesn't, and I don't understand why he doesn't leave more of a gap. But maybe Brett leaves that much of a gap that Konzo doesn't lose that much time. That maybe Janel gets past, maybe Carlsberry gets past, Danestar, and maybe that's about it.
He's doing it now. Yep. I just think there's a rule or a time limit or something that at this stage you can't let yourself get too far behind, and that's why he's doing it now. So Konzo's not pitted though. Oh, well that's
poor Brett.
Oh dear, Brett. Yeah, that's almost a what on earth are you doing, Konzo and Scorpion and Iceman? Why aren't you just pitting? They've only got 2 more safety car / virtual safety cars left to use in this race, and I guess are they going to try and hold it out for softs? I don't really know what's going to happen there. What about these guys? Will they pit for softs? They could.
Well, the thing is, right now you could pit for softs to go to the end. Brett for I don't get it.
Lukey's on old mediums.
Lukey's going on 6-lap old mediums.
What on earth?
What are they doing? Cam is really the only one who, at least he goes on fresh mediums. But apart from that, what are they doing? I don't understand this.
This must be down to the tyres they've got available again or something, but just put softs on or something.
Yeah, the softs last 14 laps around here.
Yeah.
And once the safety car comes in, even if it comes in at the end of this very lap, which is very unlikely, because it just came out, even if it comes back in right away, there's 14 laps to go.
Yeah.
So they last long enough. I really don't understand why we don't see a single car on the softs right now. I mean, Cam, at least he's on fresh mediums. Kelvin, at least he's on 1 lap old mediums. But the hards for Bretster, 6 lap old mediums for Lukey, go on the softs.
I mean,
he's crying out loud.
He's absolutely played himself terribly, just in every way possible there. He was fully expecting his teammate to fall away. We've got Riley in the chat there saying that the softs fall away after 7 laps. No, they don't. Maybe you just need to be better. Well, hey, but on a serious level, they do last. They last
Please
more
don't be
than
so
long
toxic. But yeah, they definitely last longer.
They'll last plenty of time, but certainly, well, saying that, no one seems to be able to get any of the strategy right. Maybe we are wrong, I don't know, but oh, I don't know. I've got to say,
the thing is, I remember
must have led so many laps today. I must say, we've spent so much time on the safety car. I guess we haven't had a proper representation of softs in the race, maybe. But I'd say they'll do the distance.
I think it's Mercedes trying to salvage their awful season in the precision tier. Currently 9th in the Constructors' Championship. At least they've got 1 Mercedes leading now, so there's that.
Lukey's in for softs. So he's going to give us a representation. Someone's done it. I just hope we're not wrong. Maybe we've got the wrong numbers. I know Riley says 7 laps.
No, we're fine.
Maybe he was just on the wrong mode. I really don't know. Maybe he got something on. I don't know. Maybe he hasn't used him enough. But certainly, I hope we're just. Maybe we are mistaken. I don't think we are, though. But yeah. Maybe he's just trying to throw us off. I don't know. But hopefully, Lukey will catch up before the safety car goes in. It should go in this lap. I don't see any reason why it won't.
Yeah, I have to fully agree with you there. I mean, usually, if you remember back season 14, drivers were taking the softs for quite a long time as well. I think the longest stint we've seen on them was about 10, 11 laps or something like that, and that was
look at this.
On a 1-stop.
We've got Cam as well saying that the softs will die. British Cam, that. Riley is absolutely convinced that the softs are going to go. It's commentators versus everyone else, I guess, in this. Yeah. We'll see who's right.
If Lukey wins...
Please. Yeah. We've got honour here.
Save us. Save us. Oh, General Carlsberg switching positions. What's going on there?
I'll tell you what, this would be quite good for Lukey, winning on a 4-stop on tyres that only go 7 laps, apparently. So we're really...
He's pulling a 2011 Canada Jensen Button right there.
Lukey's listening to the stream. Oh, God.
Is he? Is he really?
Right, Lukey, stay out. We need... It's a social experiment, I think, at this point. Because he should be quick. He should be quick, so we should see how this works. But safety car's coming in.
Matt King in the chat says softs can go to the end, so...
Oh my God!
We have someone at least who backs us up.
Austin, he genuinely has paid thanks to what we've said. So let's just hope we're right about this. Conzo's going to take another restart, and he's holding the pack up a lot more than last time.
Yeah.
We'll see if anyone takes advantage. Of course, it's no overtaking opportunities really. As Compassion hits Ivan, you can't really pass before the start finish anyway. So I guess it doesn't really matter when you go. But he is away, and Janel already on the back of Scorpion. And like I say, by the sounds of it, he's going to have to start making a pretty big gap to Carlsberg to try and win the title today. Although saying that, Carlsberg isn't actually where he needs to be yet. So, yeah, we'll hold off on that. As down the inside goes Dane Star there on Iceman. Iceman, who I believe still hasn't made a second stop yet, and really sort of should have, I think, at this point. And Compassion right on both of them as well.
And you said Carlsberg isn't where he needs to be yet. I think he is, because he is in a net P2.
Or 3 wide there. Compassion losing more time along with that penalty. And, well, his race is starting to fall apart as well. He was at one point the guy that was looking to win this race, but sort of in these pit stop phases, it's just sort of lost out a bit. But he's now going to try and go side by side. He should be long ahead before Cops, so no real worries of that. Let's go back up to Janel, though, who's right on Scorpion's tail right now.
Meanwhile, Ivan also looking in the mirrors of Nexus Iceman here, trying to get past, but not really much there to do for him. And now the DRS trains are forming really, and Scorpion might be the first victim here by Janel. Is Janel going to send it to the inside? Yes, he is. Scorpion keeps it round the outside, though. Has to go the long way there. Has to go off track, as Janel doesn't leave him enough space on track. Janel round the outside of Vale here. And they're still side by side. Scorpion with the better run. Oh, there was a bit of lag, it seems. And Scorpion's still there. My goodness, they're still going side by side. Janel with the better run into turn one.
My goodness,
gets it done. And Carlsberry is very close to this battle as well. Takes around the outside of turn 3. Will have the inside for the loop. And will have the position safe.
How did he not have an accident there, Carlsberry? It's beyond me. I was sure he was going into a gap that disappeared, and there was a little tap. But I just kept it on the road, thank goodness for that. And, well, still on the back there of Janel. And we're side by side with Maurice and Ivan, fighting for P8 at the moment. Konzo has put his foot down. He really does need to. I think Cam's been off the track. He's down into P14. Man, he finished third last season, falling away as well as obviously Cressy was second.
Look at how many positions Lukey has already made up. 3 positions up ever since we told him what to do.
Yeah.
Look at that.
He also had Meloy on the grass nearly there. That could have been an accident, but luckily nothing went too badly wrong there. His next target being Cam, British Cam that is. He already got by American Cam when he went off. And Lukey, certainly, well, he's on a mission right now. As Compassion, Danestar and Scorpion get all very close to each other. Into Stowe, Danestar. Oh, that's going to be... Again, how is that not spun round? That was contact on the inside of Stowe. That's almost a guaranteed spin, but Compassion kept it on the road. It's Danestar, remember, on the hards. That maybe not looking too good right now, but I guess if no one's going to pit again, they might get a little bit of usage towards the end, maybe a bit of an advantage against Janel and Carlsberry. He needs to get by Scorpion, though, before anything gets talked about in terms of that.
Yeah, and currently proves to be a lot trickier than anything else he's entailed so far this race. Remember, the hard tyres versus the mediums here. There's not that much difference, really, between those 2 tyres either. There's really only 6/10, and here goes Danestar to the inside. They touched, and Scorpion held it. Fantastic piece of car control there. Unfortunately, it's 2 positions lost in 1 corner for him.
Yes, but at least he's still got a car. I wish we got damage on. I swear, there's so many almost guaranteed accidents, and they haven't happened.
You don't get damage from that kind of contact. Come on.
And we're still hitting each other. We're nearly 3 wide towards Maggots. Oh my goodness, and even 2 wide's a bit too much for Iceman. Nearly into the side of Maurice, but he got through. Nice move from the Renault. He was on the inside of Cops as well. He was really determined to get that one done. We got Carlsberry on the back of Janel. Nothing happening there, but we also got Compassion on the inside. Oh, that's definitely spinning this time. No way is he getting away with that. And he's going to fall right down the grid. He did push that just 1 move too far.
That's tricky. Goes on to the racing line. Oh my god, thank goodness for ghosting there. Yeah, that's definitely a penalty for an unsafe re-entry coming Compassion's way there. Thankfully, he goes on my screen for 1 split second. I think Kelvin, or no, it was Cam. Cam's left front wheel was off, and then the game realized, oh no, I have to ghost, and okay, fair enough. But yeah, for a split second on my screen at least, that left front wheel for Cam was off. So Compassion definitely has an unsafe re-entry penalty coming as well. I'm 99% sure of that.
Carlsberry up to P2. I wasn't even watching that. I was more looking at the other train, because we've got a train all the way out to Danestar, and probably Danestar might pull away. And we've got some incidents. Oh, for God's sake, Lukey's off. Okay, we can't prove our theory then. He's had a collision, I guess, somewhere, but that doesn't prove
there's Compassion and Cam. Once again, I think Compassion gave Cam a little love tap, a little bit of a pit maneuver there to the rear right. Not intentional, but overly aggressive, I think, and that almost spun Cam around. Lukey had to take evasive action, got around the Haas, and at least got up into P14 again. But certainly a little bit of too much passion maybe there from Compassion. A little bit. Yeah. Oh, come on, Owen.
Well, yeah, I mean, just a bit of a mess. Just a little bit of a messy few laps after him. But yeah, Iceman making his second pit stop at last. it's just a shame this. We can't really say if Lukey's tyres will go to the end line because of a grass in them, so that means no one wins this debate, unfortunately, because if they go, we'll complain about him being off the track, I guess. I mean, they should still make it, but he was right on that train, was looking at a potential P4 or P5, because the tyres, if he could make advantage of them when he was there, he could have actually done a lot there. Meanwhile, Maurice is still going on the grid. He's trying to get up ahead of Scorpion now into P5. He's had a very good stint so far. And here he goes, inside, should be able to put himself up into P5. And Renault absolutely covering their ground against Toro Rosso at the moment as Scorpion goes off the track.
Yeah, and Renault now with a 2 and 5 right now. If they were to finish that way, however, we have to remember Konzo still has to make one more pit stop, as does Scorpion, as does Meloy. So that would be one position for everyone. So that would be Carlsberg up to P1. It would be Maurice up to P4. It would also mean that Kelvin, well, Janel would gain a position up to P2, but Kelvin would gain 3 positions up to P9 as it stands. And that means we are talking about Renault getting 37 points and Toro Rosso getting 20. So we would, if that is how it ends and we have no more overtakes, the championship, the Constructors' Championship at least, would go on to Brazil.
Yeah, so Carlsberg then into the lead of the race. Basically, he's not in position. Janel is still well in position though to win the championship, and that's the annoying thing for Carlsberg. Janel would have to really fall quite far down the grid. What's he, about 7th or 8th to not win it today?
7th.
But
7th. 6th if Carlsberg gets the fastest lap. Oh, sorry. Hold on, give me 1 second. I need to get this right up here.
Yeah, well, while you find that.
Now I'm mixing up my own. I made the tables to see. Yeah, so 7th if 7th if Janel doesn't get the fastest lap. 8th even if Janel does get the fastest lap. So 8th at the very least. 7th if Janel actually ends up with the fastest lap of the race, which is very unlikely at this point. Compassion has that. And since Janel won't pit again, I think, unless, he really wants to gamble this away, it really has to come down to what kind of a penalty is Janel going to get for the incident with Chris.
He might fancy making this overtake right now and pulling away. Here he goes on the inside. Yep. Janel takes back the lead, and, well, he sort of has to get a move on. If he gets a 10-second time penalty, he would still win the title, I think. He would be okay.
No.
It would be pretty close right now, but he would be...
well,
he'd
P7.
be 8th, wouldn't he? He'd be 8th, wouldn't he, actually?
Well, he would be... Well, Melo goes in now, so he would be... now he would be 7th.
Yeah.
And that's still not enough, because then Janel needs the fastest lap to clinch the title here tonight.
Ah. Okay.
Unfortunately, we haven't seen what exactly happened between Janel and Chris. Otherwise, we could assess and say that could be a 10-second penalty, it could be a 15, 20-second. We can't assess that because we didn't see what happened. Unfortunately, because we don't have a replay system. And Codemasters, please.
I've got to point this out. I think I don't know what your numbers say. I know we're saying this, but Cam also gave me numbers. According to Cam's numbers, Janel, if he finished 7th, would actually win it. So I don't know who to believe now.
No, only if he gets the fastest lap.
Oh no, because he'd be 26 points even without the fastest lap, apparently. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Cam's wrong. But apparently, since again he'd win it on having more wins. But see, we've both got different sets of numbers now, so we can blame Cam. The on-track reporter's got it wrong again. This is why we sacked him last season. But yeah,
Carlsberg needs to at least needs to get 19 points on Janel to stay in it.
Again, there's been a collision, and again, there's been no damage done. Danstar and Maurice, that was a big old hit. Maurice, well, do you know what? Maurice right now has got the pace to win this thing. He's also got the tyres to win this thing. Much fresher. So all this talk could be for nothing right now, because Maurice is flying.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be some Renault...
Oh, he's got a penalty.
Team orders. He's also got a penalty on top of that, but there's got to be some sort of Renault team order to say, hey, listen, man, you can't take away the potential a chance to win a title there for your teammate. You can't do that. It's like, there's got to be some sort of message.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't want to say it's completely out of the question, but it's almost out of the question now for Crosby to win it. Even if he still has a chance, they'd want to get the 1-2 on track, and Maurice might just put that in his own hands.
What if, I'm just spitballing here, what if Jadl somehow retires from the last race and Carlsberg has a chance to win? And has the fastest lap at hand as well? Gets 26 points in the final race. It's not impossible. As long as there's a mathematical chance, you play for that. And right now, with Jadl potentially having a penalty coming his way, there's very much a mathematical chance that Carlsberg can still win the title. Imagine how much Renault would hate themselves if they say, listen, Maurice, it's green light, you can try and go past Carlsberg if you can, if you have the pace, go past, doesn't matter. And then Carlsberg doesn't have enough points or is too far away from Janel. Janel wins the title right here, and then in the final race, Janel retires, Carlsberg wins with the fastest lap and would have won the championship if only for Silverstone. Imagine how much they would hate themselves for that.
I guess they would be pretty annoyed by that. Can I just put another name in the hat?
Carlsberg spins!
Oh.
Carlsberg spun, he tried to go to the inside and, well, that's all talk for nothing, really. Tried to go to the inside of Janel, tried to make the overtake happen on track. They come together, he wasn't fully alongside. And as it is on this game, if one car's ahead, the other's behind, the one who's on the inside and behind, well, that's the one that gets spun around. In this case, Carlsberg losing control of the car, falling down to P4, behind his teammate Maurice now, and behind Danestar.
Right, before that happened, I was just going to put two more names in the hat, and they are Brettster and Cam, because they're on even newer tyres, and they could also put themselves in that. But since Carlsby's gone and done that, which, yes, I may or may not have slightly missed by a bit. I saw him spinning, that's all that matters. We got the shot. But, yeah, now Carlsberg, what he's going to rely... Oh, we've lost Cam. He's spun off. So it's only Brettster now. That might have been a collision, I don't know, but... Right, let's reevaluate what the situation right now is. Because Carlsberg now is going to have to start relying on a lot more people to help him out. He's got his teammate now, he's suddenly becoming his best friend. Because he's going to have to try and put Janel under some pressure and hopefully lose them all some time and get Carlsberg to catch back up again. And then Danestar's in there too, and you've got Brettster on much better tires could get into that. There we have only got, though, 4 laps remaining.
Yeah, now here's the question. Danestar has got a 5-second time penalty.
He took it already,
from an incident. From an
in the pits, he took it already.
Every single time he pitted under the safety car. Can he still take a 5-second time penalty under the safety car?
It's a good point, that.
Yeah.
I wish we could be told that it was been served. If only we had a certain app.
No, even the app can't tell us that, unfortunately.
Not tell us that?
No.
We should suggest after the next update.
5-second penalties are only displayed in the app. One at the end of the race when they're added on if they were not served.
I tell you what,
otherwise,
Maurice,
even the app doesn't register them.
Maurice is nearly out of ERS. He might fancy getting a move done sooner or later right now because he can probably still feel he can win this on track. He might have the penalty, but he still might just fancy pulling away. It would have to take quite a lunge though because of Janel's ERS right now. He's got more, and better front wings come off. Someone's front wings come off.
Maurice.
Surely it's Maurice's, yeah.
Yep, left side end plate's gone.
It was a poor angle, but I just saw the wing flying off, and well, Renault are suddenly starting to fall by the wayside here. Although Janel almost starting to get a penalty, unless Chris is overreacting to what's happened. We've got to say that. What if Chris is just saying it in the heat of the moment? Oh, he took me out. Of course, they'll go to stewards, but I think Maurice is going to get by anyway, regardless of the damage. And Danestar is going to be right on this too. Inside, Maurice wants to go. That's an interesting line to go. I would have went outside, but he's not going to get that move there, surely.
And now Janel has a little bit too much traction there and keeps the position right now. But Maurice is looking very feisty here. Into Cops, he's got overtake.
Oh, he's hit him
Janel
again.
blocks it off. I don't think they touched.
Oh, they touched. Oh, they definitely touched. I was on board with Maurice. That was a little love tap on there, and Janel is losing the rear.
Well.
His tires are gone. That's what's happened right now. He's sliding all over the road like a madman. Same might well happen to Carlsberg as well, but if he just keeps his cool, he could still find himself up there in a moment, because here comes Maurice once again. DRS on Janel. Will he lunge it? He's going to go for it down the inside. And Janel's going wide. Janel's going wide.
Very wide.
Could lead to a switchback. Maurice
into
surely has it now on the inside. Do you know what? Janel's holding it. Yeah, he's holding it. Look at Danestar now. He's on the newest tire of these tires, or the most healthy, you could argue, of these tires. Maybe not the newest.
They touch again. Ooh.
And Danestar's going to get the two of them. Danestar's going to get the two of them. Surely he's got one already. He's going side by side. They make contact, and again and again. And Danestar gets himself to P2, and Maurice is now the one going sideways. And Carlsberg's right on the scene. He's lost it himself.
Almost spins.
He's lost it himself.
Has to take the shortcut here. Oh wow.
This race is coming alive in the closing stages. Here comes Danestar on the inside. He's surely going to have a chance now. He's going to be on healthy-ish tires, because they're the hards. They shouldn't wear out too much. But that Janel's fighting to the death right now. And we need to find out if Danestar's penalty is standing, because that's what's standing between him and a race victory.
Oh, here comes Maurice. Look at them. Wow.
Look at this! He's going by the two of them into Cop's corner. That's incredible! But they're sliding like crazy. Will he get away with that?
Cuts across the channel there. Channel had to take avoiding exit, had to slightly lift off. And
surely he's going to lose it eventually. This is ridiculous. How does he get this on track? Maurice is into the grass. Here comes Janel and Danestar again. Carlsberg's back on the scene. They're trying to go free wide nearly. Danestar trying to stay in the toe as long as he can, but it's side by side. Well, Maurice spins. His teammates hit him. Massive problems for Renault. They've come together now, and Brett's up into the podium positions. Could this be the title being decided due to the Renaults coming together? And Danestar is still on Janel for the race win. This is not over yet, folks. Final lap of the race, and Carlsberg's down in 9th. Maurice is falling too, and it's capitulation for Renault, who are surely going to lose the title regardless of what's happening now. Carlsberg's out of the race. Janel is your champion in season 15.
Yeah, that seals it. Carlsberg needed a lot of points. Won't get any here. He will be classified.
Danestar's going to take the lead. Janel will know he's won the title now, and Danestar looks like he's going to take the victory if this 5-second penalty has been taken. I know he put it on the safety car. We'll need to see how the rules work with that. But oh my goodness, do you like this track yet?
I always said it's a fun track to watch. I just don't like driving it. You didn't listen to me, Owen.
Look at Compassion, by the way. Compassion is still on this. He's having collisions with Brett into Cops, and they're side by side too. My goodness, my voice is gone. Look at this, side by side. Oh, they're going to collide. That's a front wing gone for Compassion now. And these guys have been let off the leash now. And Janel, is he close up to Danestar? Does he really care? Maurice is now out as well. And that is Taros who win the Constructors as well. And Janel, will he even make it to the end? He's all over the road. Has he got a puncture? Is there something wrong with his car? He surely has no tyres left. It doesn't matter regardless. Danestar's going to cross the line first. Will he have a penalty added on? No. Danestar has won the British Grand Prix, but Janel is your champion in season 15. Who'd have thunk it? Brettster finishes third. Lukey's done 14 laps on the sauce. He's got P4 from the back. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And Compassion 5th, Cam 6th. Good recovery there from his failures in strategy, unfortunately. The other Cam, British Cam 7th. Conzo 8th, Kelvin 9th, and Ivan will end up 10th in the end. Presumably he's got no penalties. He has penalties. Scorpion will get that then. Who's got fastest laps? We haven't even thought to check that. Mello's got the fastest lap outside the top 10. Gonna have to do a quick scan. I think Conzo has it in the top 10. Oh my goodness.
Yes, Conzo has, yeah. Quite significantly with a 128.9. No one else is in the 128s. In fact, only 2 drivers in the 129s in the top 10.
As you might imagine, Conzo. My mother has been texting me furiously telling me to stop shouting. If only she knew what was making it happen. That has to be the most hectic end to a race I've ever seen in any league race ever. What a way to decide the championship. But it's
both
Renault.
championships.
It's
both
exactly.
championships.
It's Renault
We
capitulation. Incredible.
We also
stuff.
have to decide driver of the day, and I'm going to take this from you. I'm going to take this first because I always leave the better option. I feel like for you this time I'm going to say Dane Star from P10.
I wanted that.
For P10 on the grid, goes on to win in what can really only be described as an absolutely frantic race, and just a fantastic job by Dane Star. He may not be in the championship mathematically anymore, but with this win and with Carlsberry's retirement, he will be classified as 15th, sorry, and Maurice as 14th. But with Carlsberry scoring no points, that means that Dane Star finds himself now in second place in the championship, 3 points ahead of Carlsberry.
Right then, you've got your driver today. I'll give mine to Brettster. He had a dreadful qualifying, but he's come up. Maybe got a bit lucky, but you know what?
19.
He made strategy work at the end of the race. I know there was all the accidents going on, but he was there, he was in play, and that's why he's got the podium. But let's just quickly confirm the provisional top 10, because I reckon Jana will still lose second place. Doesn't matter though, he's won the title.
Yeah.
That can't be taken away from him now unless they start putting point reductions in. That's just not very nice. So Dane Star is the winner from Janel, Brettster, Lukey, doing 14 laps on the sauce and being more than quick enough to get up there, nearly a podium. Could be a podium in the end if a penalty gets added.
I expect a thank you note from Lukey.
Oh yes, definitely a thank you note. Sorry, I was going to panic there because the timer was running out, but it's just reset itself so we can go through the rest of the grid. Compassion 5th, Cam 7th, Conzo 8th, Kelvin 9th, and Scorpion 10th. Fastest lap in the top 10, like I say, I believe, going to Conzo. Then outside the top 10, Iceman, Ivan, and Melo are your finishers. Melo getting the fastest lap as well. And then retirements, Maurice and... What?
Yeah, Maurice and Carlsberry have retired in the pit lane, but they haven't...
They were in the 1 minute 30s.
Yeah, but they had enough... No, I'm not saying fastest lap. I'm saying they've done enough laps to still be classified. Yeah, but they didn't
finish. Let's not make this complicated. We've got a timer. We've got Maurice, Cosby, Khalifa, King, Jury, Chris, and Kovalainen, your finishers. Not finishers, retirements. Oh my goodness me.
Yeah, so 24 laps completed for Carlsberry. So he is in the 90%. 23 and he wouldn't have been, but 24 complete and he is. So yeah, that was about the most crazy race I've ever had the privilege of commentating on. That was wild. And if that's any indication of what's left for Brazil, I cannot wait. If it hadn't been so hectic, it crossed my mind for a split second to say either in lap 25 or lap 26 to ask the One Hub management whether we can extend this race for maybe 5 more laps, because that was insane.
We can just come back here next week. I wouldn't be opposed to that now. Actually, that was just something else. Yeah.
Well. One thing that needs to be said is that there is going to be a Brazilian driver on the grid next week.
Oh, yes.
Vitinho will be making his comeback.
Good stuff. One of the shortest retirements I think I've ever seen.
Yes.
But still, good to see him coming back. But unfortunately, he won't be in with a chance to win that next level racing stand. Janel will have his order. No matter what happens, he'll have his trophy on his way. He'll have his stand on its way. He is the drivers' champion, and Toro Rosso will win at their final opportunity at Constructors' Championship. Don't quite think they know
I want to make sure that that's the case, because we have multiple things to look out for. Let's make sure we're not calling it too early.
Actually,
because here in the precision tier, we don't have to just look at Renault. We have to look at Red Bull and
they
Williams.
won the race, didn't they?
Red Bull won the race, 25 points, and if Janel gets a penalty that demotes him to, let me quickly calculate this correctly.
Well, do you know, he only needs 1 place or 2 places, because it was like 11 seconds to third, and I reckon he'd only maybe get a 10-second penalty.
Hold on. If the penalty demotes him to P8 behind Conzo, then the championship will go on. As it provisionally stands right now, Obviously, with the 20 points scored by both Calvin and Janel, I think, they are the champions. Yes.
Right, but we can call that professional as well.
A penalty might change that, and might keep at least Red Bull in. Renault, at this point, have been outscored in the Constructors' Championship. So Renault no longer second, and it will be Red Bull in second, Williams in third, and Renault drops down to fourth in the standings.
Right then, so I think we'll end it off there. I don't really quite know how you're going to get a more entertaining race than that, but I'm sure Alex will give it his best shot to make the Pinnacle race as interesting as possible. We should be going green there any moment now, actually, so we really should go, but we will be back.
Let me check.
Well, yeah, you can let them know, but while you do that, I'll
there's still another 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in qualifying.
Right, let's get this done pronto then. Thank you all for watching. Hope you've all enjoyed that. What a way to decide the championship. We know for absolute sure that Janel's the champion. I think we'll close with that. Janel, you're champion in season 15, and we will be back next week. Hopefully, a fun way to end the season at Brazil. I've been Owen Wyatt. With me, it's been Austin as always. Safe travel, everybody, and stay safe.